Hello, everybody. How are you doing? How's it going? How's it going? Haven't seen you in a long time. I think the last time we had a live stream was I think it was something like January 17th. January 17th was our last live stream. So it's been a while, my friends. It's been a long break. We're just going to kind of jam a little bit, wait for people to get in. We don't have any articles to go over. Well, a little bit, but not really anything. Nothing traumatic today. No, we're not going to jump back into it quite like that. It's so good to see everybody. I almost forgot how to live stream. I'm clicking around here on my programs and stuff. Thank you, Mr. Music. Thank you, Mr. Music. We love the music. We love the music. All right, let's say hello. Hello, everybody. I am Jan Daemon, and it has been a while. Holy moly, has it been a while? What? Why? Why has it been a while? Well, I needed a break. I needed a serious break. There's the inauguration that happened, and I was just like so overwhelmed with everything that I needed to step away. And boy, did I step away. Um, I am fine, but definitely went through like sort of a depressive episode. There was some dark nights of the soul. I feel like I kind of went crazy a little bit. If you know what I mean? Not, totally. Good news though is I did find a therapist over the course of all this. A very good therapist too. I really lucked out. Like they're very in tune with like sort of like how I perceive psychology, my own self, and the world and things like that. It's easy to be open about like my Neogenian views and kind of like take those sort of characteristics of Neogenianism to help myself, I guess, kind of get back in touch with my philosophical roots. Because I definitely had a moment of just completely being overwhelmed by what's going on in the world and just not knowing what to do. So I really had to take a step back. Um, Unplugging from the news really helped. I still caught wind of like what was going on here and there, so it's not like I was completely aloof. And yeah, so we'll get in a little bit more into like what I've been doing specifically, and what I plan on doing. But we're just kind of taking this easy. I felt a lot of pressure, not to come back to streaming in general, but just a little bit of pressure of like what to stream again with, and so I decided I don't really have any plans today. Even if I'm just live for like 30 minutes, 45 minutes, I just wanted to jump back on here and say, hey, we are going to get this wheel rolling. And we're going to start really tackling some hard, heavy stuff this year when it comes to topics, discussing topics. And we're going to be really heavy on action this year of what we can do. I'd say first and foremost, just in a nutshell, if the world's crazy and what are we doing? My plans this year overall, and we'll get more into this later. Let me just briefly tell you, is to start getting local, in person. Get my face in front of other faces locally, and start like building a community that way. So that is the theme. Get out there and be a Neogenian face in the crowd out there in the world. So there's a few things I'm going to try and do this year that involve that. I'm still in school, still majoring in sociology, but doing a lot of studying, a lot of research, a lot of analysis, a lot of yeah. Anyways, please, people, I have not seen you all like for so long. Hello, Andy. Oh my gosh. Hello, Laura. Wasn't Lucifer in here earlier? Yes, Lucifer says, "Oh my god, it's good to be back." It is good to be back. I really did truly miss y'all. Like I spent a lot of time away from streaming, but there was definitely moments where I'm like, I miss, coming on here and just talking about stuff and laughing and goofing and gaffing and having some serious thoughts. So it's good. Please, like the live stream. Please help me get the. Okay, we're back. I think we're back. I think we're back. Sorry, I knocked wires or something, and then like the microphone went out, and then you have to restart the program. Elise! Holy shit, good to see you, Elise. And Lee. And Renaissance Fairy. Wow, I miss saying these names. I miss seeing you saying these names. Hello, hi. It's so good to see everybody. Wow, I feel like I just woke up. I almost like seeing you all right now kind of makes me feel like I just woke up from a nightmare. And I'm just kind of like, oh my gosh. I dreamt I was in Oz. So anyways, where were we? Oh yes, friends, tell me how you doing. What's going on? Any updates? Any big news? Anything going on? Tell me now. Hello, Dreamy. The community has been on fire in a good way, I hope. Been really tuned out and in my own world. We'll get to what exactly I've been doing. Really interesting development in the world of me. And here I am on stream, so why not talk about me and me only? Just kidding. Andy has been putting out amazing videos. More of them? Man, I need to get caught up. I don't... I haven't even been to Morg's live streams in... I feel like a month. I mean, I did one like not too long ago, but it really feels like a long time. And Lee has been streaming? Hell yeah. That's good to hear. Lucifer has been putting out well-structured thought posts. That makes me so happy. I love that. I love that y'all have just been like connecting and like speaking out like that's good. That makes me so happy that y'all are just like holding down the fort while I'm taking a step back. I really needed it though. Like I really needed it. I just had like so much like stress and just I felt like responsibility and just confusion and vulnerability. Just a lot of heavy stuff like sitting on my shoulders, and I really just kind of had like an existential crisis, I guess, if you will. Just because you become Neogenian doesn't mean that you're an exception to experiencing more existential crises, because it's like it's almost like I had my quote unquote faith tested in a way, you know, like we're not a faith-based system, but like if I was to describe it poetically, like I really truly had like a nihilistic, like there is no purpose to anything moment, and I don't wish that on any of you. That's a really bad place to be, and it really sucks, especially if you kind of know better rationally, like this isn't the end and things, you know, do transition and morph and change and evolve. And it was just a really bad place. It was a lot of like what's going on in the external world like affecting me like in my inner world like just so deeply. Like it really just shook me to the core. It's like I had to have a comeback to Jesus moment. But not the kind of, you know, I think I know, like, Neogenians know what I mean when I say, like, have a comeback to Jesus moment. I don't mean actually Jesus. Like, just kind of like, you know, come back to the Christ consciousness. Like, so I've been working with a therapist on that, doing some really good sort of like Freudian methods of like helping myself like deal with like my thoughts. Um, like the method of imagining yourself as a commander and you're sitting at a round table with like other aspects and facets of yourself and sort of like talking it out and imagining different aspects of yourself as another person. Obviously they're not another person, but just visualizing them and then just trying to have a conversation in your head that's healthy and productive. Another thing I'm doing with my therapist to get my head back straight is getting back into sort of ritualistic practices. I'm doing sort of eclectic, symbolic, ritualistic stuff with like candles and scents and things like that to ground myself. That's been another really good thing going on. Alberto, hello. Hello, Zeus. So, yeah, I've been meeting weekly with a therapist. That's been really good. So, you know, it's not like I'm just hanging out here in despair. There's definitely the despair part. Trust me, I've been feeling some despair. What else have I been doing? I've been playing a fuck ton of Sims 4. I just, you know, I saw a couple of videos of people playing it on YouTube, like, probably about a month ago. And it just looked really fun, so I downloaded it, and now I'm super obsessed. And if I'm not playing Sims 4, I'm studying, because the classes I have right now, like, most of the work I'm doing right now is critical writing for English, and I'm doing a sociology class that has an emphasis in research. So I'm literally creating a research project. And we're going to get a lot more into that today, I think. I'd like to talk about that a lot. This is my research project. And so, you know, playing a ton of Sims 4, studying a lot, reading a lot of analytical papers, a lot of analytical articles and books, which, like, honestly, it just gets really just stale after a while. So I'm like, I want to read something like recreational and like have a lot of fun. So I've been getting into what they refer to as dark romance novels. They're very smutty books, and I'm enjoying that a lot. I'm going to giggle like a geisha. Because I'm like, I need some shadow, like, expression or something. So I'm reading really naughty books. Like written by women, which I think is just the best. It is the best. So yeah, playing Sims, doing lots of sociological research, reading smutty books, and now I'm just kind of like crawling out of that hole. The therapy with the therapist is doing really good. Getting myself grounded again through ritualistic practices that I'm comfortable with. Sort of using the I think it's Freud, right? Where it's sort of like the commander, the center of your brain and psyche, like the ego, and then you just kind of have like the different facets of yourself sitting around. So kind of like utilizing that imagery to help me get back on my feet, which has been really good because like it's nice to like talk to a therapist who's like really open about that stuff and very non-judgmental, so I can just talk about like what my core tenets and beliefs are like as a Neogenian, and then have that therapist be able to like take that. And she's pretty good at Jungian psychology as well. So it's like we're able to do like some subconscious explore. I really lucked out with a good therapist. Like they are like top notch. And it's great too. They're really comfortable to be with. They're like genderqueer like me. They're a she them. So it's been really good. So I'm excited to tell you I applied for something today that I hope to get into. It's for a conference symposium put on by the Pacific Sociological Association. It's going to be happening at the end of March. I put in an application, so I hope I get to go. Because it's going to be like it's like for sociology majors to apply to. And it's like a paid trip to San Francisco where you go to a big, massive sociological conference symposium, and they have a really good overall theme on, since things are so dire under the administration right now. So I thought we'd read over like their theme and stuff. So because even if I don't even if I don't get in and I don't get this opportunity, I'm still happy about what they do, and I'm still interested in it. So, oh, hi, Morg. Good to see you. Oh my gosh, I miss everybody so much. Morg says your therapist sounds great. Yeah, no, they really are. Like, they're really, like, I'm, like, shocked. Like, I really fucking, like, lucked out. This is, like, honestly, this is therapy I needed 5 years ago. It's about damn time. About damn time. No, I miss all you guys too. So much. But yes, baby, we're back. Every Friday, we're going. Okay, we're not covering any scary articles today, but next week we're diving back in it, baby. We are coming in with the harsh criticisms, which is great because I'm in the middle of my critical writing class. It's so awesome. The critical writing class is awesome because it's like, because the teacher's trying really hard to combat AI, she's sort of foregoing like grammar. And I'm not that great at grammar, so basically she's just like, right. I want to hear your voice and I want to hear your thoughts. And she gives us pieces of writing to like respond to and be critical and criticize and write argumentative papers. And I'm like, in hog heaven, because I am just made of criticism. Like, just sheer criticism. I could be critical all fucking day. It's amazing. And it's great because she'll be like, oh, just write like 500 word response to this. It's like, are you kidding? I can whip out 2,000 words about this in no time. I got so much to criticize. You have no idea. Like, I'm just full of hot critical cum, and I'm ready to unload in people's faces. Oh, thank you so much, Renaissance Fairy, for gifting a membership. And Elise, thank you so much. I don't know where my markers are right now. Otherwise, I would write your names on my board back here. And congrats, Becca, for getting that. And who else got one? Stoic Jeff. Man, it's so cool. And thank you so much, Morg, for the super chat. That means so much. Man, I miss you all so much. It's amazing. So yeah. Not gonna stay on too long again. Like I said, I'm just trying to like ease back into this, which is why I did sort of like a soft launch. I didn't really post the link anywhere else. I'm just like, let me just get on and let's just get back into it. So what I do want to talk about today, I'm sorry I'm blowing my nose. It's allergies are always so bad with me. It doesn't matter what time of year. It drives me insane. So at the end, okay, listen, because here's my plan. I'm probably going to be bummed if I don't get into this, but I'll get over it. But I'm really trying to go for this. I sent in my application this morning and I really tried to sell myself. So a there is the Pacific Sociological Association, and it's here in California. Um, and they have an annual conference every year, which is like a big symposium of a ton of like well established sociologists and tons of students from different colleges throughout the state or states. So it's kind of a big deal. Like, there's going to be a lot of like sociological minded people. Um, so I just wanted to like show you guys because I'm really excited for this. Just kind of like what this is about, and then I don't know, just kind of like talk about that my research a little bit, my sociological research a little bit. I don't have a lot prepared to show anybody yet, because it like research takes a lot of work. Holy shit! But I am working on certain studies right now in a project. And then let's see, what do I want to talk about? Oh, there's something really major I might be doing this summer, but I might save that. We'll see. We'll see. Laura, hot critical cum. Oh yeah, I'm so fucking full of that. Are you kidding? Oh, Lucifer's not having a good day. I'm so sorry. Am I still with the market? Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. So anyways, yes, from March 27th, I think 27, 28 to 9:30, like through that whole weekend, there's going to be this annual conference, and it's in San Francisco, and I'm going to, hopefully, if I get in. I haven't gotten approved yet. If I don't, I'm going to be like, oh, whatever. But I'm glad this is going on anyways. It gives me hope in the world that people are giving a shit. But if I do get to go, it's like an all-paid trip. So I get like hotel room and everything, and then we'll do some like it's like me and like other students and a couple of sociology teachers, just like the one that I have. We'll travel up there. We'll eat some food, do some cultural, visitations, like go to the bridge, go to some museums, and then we'll go to the conference. And there we get to, just kind of enjoy the sessions. And there's like a ton of stuff going on. And then we'll also meet with other students from other colleges who are working on their own sociological research projects. And we'll just kind of like sit and chat. So it's a great opportunity to get my face physically in front of other faces and just like talk about like the stuff that I'm passionate about, and just kind of like represent being Neogenian like in person. So, and then what else is going to go on? That's all I have to say for now. But let's get into like what this is about, because I'm pretty interested. So yes, 2025 PSA Annual Conference information. The big overall theme of this symposium is sociology in crisis and strategies for teaching and researching in a culture of anti-DEI. So, all right, join us, the 96th installment of the Pacific Sociological. Oh, let me blow this shit up. The fuck? Can't see any of this. Where do I blow this up? Where? I don't know anything on this. Alright, we'll try to read this. Let's see. Alright, yeah. Anyways. So March 27th through 30th, 2025. In San Francisco, one of those fancy buildings. Call for submission and stuff like that. Link to tentative programs. So here's this. We'll kind of like glance over this later, because there's some of these that I'm like really interested in going to. Yeah, I think it's a fabulous. Like, are you kidding? As a Neogenian, I'm like, yes, please, let's go. It's like, sociology is such under fire, and DEI in general, it's ridiculous. So, well, I was kind of listening to this earlier. We might listen to some of this in a bit. So let's finish reading this. So, in the United States, we are confronted with the realities of race, gender, sexuality, disability, and class inequalities, which intersect to present several types of social and sociological challenges. When those in power seek to subordinate the teaching of critical race theory, remove sociology from the general education curriculum in higher education, ban books that document atrocities of settler colonial nation projects, and fire teachers who seek to bring critical perspective to our understanding of history, we are all left with one key weapon in our arsenal, which is critical sociological analysis, and which is a weapon that has two dialectically related parts, which is theory and methods. Now, I know we've talked about theory like a little bit in the past, but just so you know, there's a few kind of like generalized sociological theory. We have conflict theory. We have, oh, jeez, I can't name them at the top of my tongue right now. Functional interactionism. Let's see. Basic sociology theories. We were talking about them earlier where I said these are kind of like lenses and ways to like look at the world. So yeah, like the main three like sociological theories are functionalism, there's conflict theory, and it's symbolic interactionalism. So functionalism it looks at society as sort of like a machine, and it sees like each individual like sort of aspects of society as a functional part to keep that going. Even so much the sort of deviant behaviors and crime and things like that, it's still an element that keeps society going. So you sort of like compartmentalize things in small ways and bring it back together into a general function of society. The conflict theory is more of like your Marxist stuff. It sees society as like there's a system in power and then the other people, and looks at the way that those interact. Conflict theory is something that I kind of excel in a little bit, just because that's sort of like how my mind works. And then there's symbolic interactionalism. This is kind of like a view of just like what things symbolically mean. Like, what does a uniform mean? How does somebody treat somebody based on like their uniform? Sort of stuff like that. A lot of family-based sociologists like sort of look at this. When sociologists take a look at family dynamics, they'll use a lot of symbolic interactionalism. Like what's the symbol in the role of the mother, or the symbol in the role of the father, or the child, mother, father, child, like things like that. Let's see. Oh, Cassie, hi. Says I gotta go. See you and everybody, and hope I'll see you next week. All right, goodbye. And hello, goodbye. So that is kind of what that is. Oh, this is a good little graphic. Let's look at this. Yeah, this ain't a bad little graphic. It's kind of like basic. So, sociological paradigms. First, we have functionalism. It argues that social stability is a prerequisite for a healthy and strong society. Social institutions contribute towards social stability. Read Jan. An abrupt social change imperils social. I mean, yeah, I guess that's that kind of thing. Not exactly what I was talking about, but that's definitely an aspect of it. Conflict argues that society is built on enduring inequality on the basis of social class, gender, race, and etc. Structural social change is required to create an egalitarian society. And symbolic interactionalism argues that we construct society through a range of symbols, words, and gestures. Social interactions. People make up their roles as they interact. Yeah, it's not bad. I probably could have found a better graphic for that, but But basically, we don't need to understand like all of that right now. Basically, what I'm trying to say is there are different theories and lenses of ways we look at society and how it functions. Where the hell is my? Where did my? Oh, there it is. What the fuck? And then, what was the other one? Two dialectically related parts. Theory. Okay, so that's theory, whatever theory you use. And then methods. It's the method of research. It's if you're doing a quantitative like research, or qualitative gathering, like, or if you're going to, like, how you're going to get your information. Are you going to do a survey? Are you going to do an interview? Are you going to do observations? Like, so theory and method is going to be our most powerful tool here for us sociologists. So, in the struggle for equality, we as academics and researchers utilize social context and knowledge to provide perspective. We use history as a hindsight to provide insight in order that we might gain foresight. As T.S. Eliot once noted, time present and time past are both present in time future. For we know that history holds the key to understanding society's structure and functioning, the key to understanding the forces that make for social order, social disorder, and social change, and therefore the key to fashioning a more equitable society. Thus, in shredding the myth of biological race, Stuart Hall was able to demonstrate just how the racial subordination of black people has had to do not with what is in their genes, but what was in their histories. Their histories include colonialism, enslavement, Jim Crow, and Christianity. To ban teachers and books that document these histories is to perpetuate the myth that America is the freest, fairest, and most equal democracy in the world. For these reasons, I remind you of C. Wright Mill's observation in the sociological imagination that all history is worthy of the name is historical sociology. So they're taking, I mean, you could see like they're taking this like really seriously. They're really on the same page as Neogenianism. But these are, more detailed. These are getting more into the details of the inequalities that's going on in our world right now. So this said, my choice of a conference, and this is all written by Dwayne Plaza, which is the president of this organization, just so you know, or association. So this is from the president of the association. Where am I? Right. Okay. This said, my choice of a conference theme, Sociology in Crisis Strategies for Teaching and Researching in a Culture of Anti-DEI, is both timely and pressing for in our divisive times. The sharp social and political divisions in society mark a stage in which our economic and cultural pursuits clash with the fascist times we live in. Amen to that. To counter divisive ideologies, such as with QAnon conspiracies, replacement theory, white fragility ideologies, and resurgence of white supremacy, sociology and sociologists need to rely on historical truths as their main weapon. So I like what this is telling us. It's like we've got some weapons, all right? We got a weapon that's got a dialectically related parts with theory and methods. And then we have historical truth. So sociologists have understandably become targets of conservative politicians and their frightened, knee-jerk, mindless followers. Dang, this has got some sauce. I like this. Damn, I hope I get to go. Using the right-wing media and their loud social media megaphones, these same conservatives have railed against the voices of protest and have enlisted a cohort of scared and radicalized followers to engage in hegemonic and or physical violence to combat opposition voices. In this standoff that is fueled by hate and fantasies of ultimate white supremacy utopia, violence and intimidation become the weapons of choice in the hands of the group like Proud Boys, the Oath Keepers, and the 3%ers. Thus, Charlottesville white supremacists and the January 6th insurrectionists are the conservatives' answer to sociological truth. Ah, man, it's like I could never... I can't like condone anything radical, but you know, it's getting really, I can say it's getting really difficult to be held to a very high moral standard when it seems like the opposition doesn't really care about that, you know. Hold on. So we must not forget that ours is a capitalist society, and there is no such thing as capitalism with a heart. As a system of oppression and exploitation, capitalism is founded on the naturalization of social inequality. We cannot all be owners, or the haves, for the non-owners and the have-nots are needed to complete the picture, but where the problems arise is when the non-owners and the have-nots become sociologically informed to see through their incalculated false consciousness concerning the natural superiority of whiteness, the normalization of race and gender inequality, the scare tactics aimed at immigrants, only those of color, who come to steal jobs, the congenial degeneracy of Mexicans and Muslims, etc., the unmasking of false consciousness. Yes, thank you. The unmasking of false consciousness, thank you. Plus the ideologies of order and control is the task of sociology and sociologists, and herein lies the source of manufactured fear that is sociology is the subversive science. Yes, sociology really is under high attack, and it just makes me really eager to like just cling to my education in it and learn as much as possible. Like I am like holding on for dear life to become a sociologist because it's going to get harder and harder to learn this kind of stuff. This kind of information is and these kind of ideas and thoughts and criticisms, they're not going to be around much. Oh, Flower Dragon, thank you so much for the super chat. Flower Dragon says, just because it's so good to see you and have you back, you have been missed. I miss you guys too so much. All right, this isn't that long. We are just at the end of what this conference is about, and I like what this guy is saying. As I said before, we're reading from Dwayne Plaza, PhD, is the Pacific Sociological Association president. So anyways, the discipline of sociology gives those in power real cause for concern because it removes the ideological fog that casts privilege as natural and social inequality, whether of a racial, ethnic, gendered class, national, or economic type, as normal. The queer community are our allies in the struggle to make this country live up to the image of a pluralistic and people's democracy. The same goes for our Muslim, Jewish, atheist, agnostic co-nationals. Teaching through the lens of sociology theory and sociological research methodology are thus activist undertakings. Yeah, it is. And I am all here for it. So these political and cultural issues spilled into the battle over curriculum content in primary and secondary schools, where progressive frontline teachers are denounced as biased for teaching so-called sensitive topics and for advancing a so-called woke agenda. Similarly, in higher education, diversity, equity, and inclusion programs are also under attack. In Florida, Texas, and Utah, it is spreading like contagion. In the wake of George Floyd's murder, conservatives see these programs as inciting wokeism, aka critical awareness, and limiting free speech, as well as teaching discrimination, hate, and divisiveness. On January 11th, 2024, the New York Times documented an anti-DEI agenda, which would reverse the social and cultural progress made in American universities towards addressing fundamental issues of transphobia, racism, sexism, homophobia, class discrimination, and the intersectionality of these factors. DEI programs address not only the obvious forms of discrimination, but also the subtle and structural problems that perpetuate exclusion and mistreatment. DEI programs continue because the universities have not traditionally been places where various minority groups have felt welcome or supported. As most such institutions are founded on the assumptions of Anglo-conservative white male heterosexual Christian ideologies, the exclusion of the other is deeply embedded in their DNA. Yes, it is. We're living in a paradigm, and the paradigm is white. So, last paragraph. Not only surprising in this growing culture of backlash and revisionism by conservatives, the discipline of sociology has become under concerted attack precisely because of its subversive mandate. Further, sociology is seen as a repository of non-scientific, disaffected left-wing radicals whose causes are anti-American. And this is where my vision for the 2025 PSA conference theme is born. The main question as a sociology faculty, researchers, and students: how do we use the tools of theory and methods at our disposal to rescue not just sociology, but all critical thinking from the anti-intellectual conservative forces that threaten us? How do we demonstrate that sociological theory and research methods are essential to the general core of higher education curriculum and that all students should have the option of taking these courses? Finally, how do we lead the charge against the anti-intellectualism? I invite your input and discussion into these key themes and topics that we will focus on for the 2025 conference in San Francisco. Again, by Dwayne Plaza. So, hot dog. You can see why I really want to go, right? I'm like, please let me go. I will be bummed if I don't get accepted. I said in my application this morning, but if I could go to this and like be a part of it and be a face on the scene, that would just really make things so much brighter. And it's just, and even if I don't, it's just nice that knowing that like people are really working on fighting back. They're putting their heads together and they're figuring this out. Let's see. Fingers crossed. Yeah. So hopefully, I don't know when I'll hear. Probably Monday I'll hear if I'm going or not. In which case, I think I might post a little YouTube video about it. If I get to go, I would like to document some of it. I don't know how much I will get to do just because, I don't know what the filming situation is going to be like. Plus, first and foremost, I'm going to be there representing myself and the Neogenian movement. So not really there to make a YouTube video out of it per se, just really trying to get out there and put my face in front of other faces, honestly. And that's like my goal, like for the rest of this year, is putting my face in front of other faces. Now I know like we go live here and like I really value our time together and we're still going to do it. It's still good. But what would be best for me is to meet other sociology majors from like other schools, like get in contact with people who are like working on similar stuff as me. The research project I'm working on right now is really centered around kind of like is online, like is social media an effective tool to create social and political change? Which within that question alone, like pops up a ton of different questions, which is why this is going to really be a huge project. I will be sharing more in depth about that as I organize it together because I've just been doing a lot of like sourcing right now. Do video notes from my hotel room. Oh, hi, Mark, by the way. It's so good to see you, Mark. Yeah. I think that might be good. I could do like a recap if I get to go. We'll see if I get approved. But yeah, if I do, I could just like at the end of the day just talk about. So here's some of the things that are going on there. These look really interesting. So this is the program at a glance. And so on Thursday, March 27th, they have, let's see, a quiet room reserved for prayer, rest, and meditation. Sweet. I think this is one I'd love to go to. It's Education, Politics, and Social Justice Movements. Okay, so it's like it's like an hour and a half. It's by Stephanie Ankel, California Lutheran University. And the presider is, okay, these people I've never heard of before. But anyways, let's see. They're going to cover educating for citizenship, transformation, and activism in the times of crisis. Voices from Home, a sociological examination of parents. And precipitations to education, blah, blah, blah. Universities as political spaces. Interesting. Christian student experiences with social justice movements at a public university. Interesting. Um, we got Latinx experiences. So these are just like little presentations and stuff. Like there's going to be a mass amount of like high-end sociologists there and a ton of other students. And if I get to go, we're going to have like an opportunity to kind of like sit at tables with other students from other colleges and like share projects and stuff and like connect. Let's see. Environmental injustice as a public health crisis. Gender, sexuality, race, sociological dynamics of emotions and identity. That looks interesting. Unspoken realities, the impact of sexual identity. Concealment on older lesbians of the Pride generation. Interesting. Riding against the tide, empowerment of women motorcycle riders. Gender trust and public safety. It's just this, it goes on and on. There's so much. And there's just like, there's so little time. And I would love to go to like every single one of these, but if I get to go, I'm only going to get to go to a few, and I want them to be related to my research project on movements, sort of looking at activists and movements that start online and eventually get mobilized. Mostly just modern movements. It's getting harder. The more I look into what constitute as a quote-unquote online movement or online activism, it becomes increasingly harder to define precisely what that is. And the reason is because social media and the internet is so well integrated into our lives right now that it's hardly becoming a sort of separate thing or a place where like that's a fantasy and quote unquote like not real. Like there's a lot of real stuff that happens on the internet. Let's see, racial and gender disparities in healthcare. There was one on Saturday I think I wanted to go to. You could just see, it's just like endless scrolling of just like all this stuff. The Myth of Me Search, reclaiming lived experience as a scholarly authority. Woo, interesting. Let's see, where's the Saturday thing? Where is the Saturday thing? There is just so much. Oh, this one I'd be interested in. Art, pop culture, and social attitudes. Voices at the margins. Where is it? There was one that I really wanted to. There's black. Oh, that would be good. Black sociology, black representations, the Black Mecca in popular culture by Melissa Brown. Let's see. I might just be tripping. Visibility for Black African and American students. See, I want to go to all of these. Social psychology of identity and emotions. Where is the one that I wanted to go to? I forgot because I put it in my application, because like when I set in my application, you actually have to like pick out some of these and like tell them like why you want to go there and how it's going to relate to your research. Man, I tried to sell myself so hard. Genders and sexualities, art, culture and pop culture, social inequalities, body politics, recentering sociology for BIPOC students. Work, labors, and movements. a lot of different stuff. Crime law and deviance. I think that was it. I'm not sure. Medicalization and criminalization of LGBT. I'm just naming these off because they sound cool. Oh, this is it. This is one. This is one I really want to attend. It's like from 2:15 to 3:45 on that Saturday. It's global activism, historic trends, new strategies, and collective identities. Yes, this is what I want to see. So let's see. Collective resistance to neoliberalism, temporal and spatial trends by Amanda Perez. Um, Beyond Tropes and Tragedy, Development Stakeholders Shaping Arts-Based Activism on Gender-Based Violence in Nepal by Barbara Grossman Thompson. That sounds pretty interesting. Youth as a Collective Identity, Youth Activism in Neoliberal South Korea. That, this is the shit I'm interested in. And a lot of what I'm studying, what I'm trying to study mostly is just activism since the internet has been introduced. So I'm going to have to do things sort of by a generational cohort, I believe, because I feel like a lot of what establishes a resistance or a major moment of activism is what a generation at the time is currently experiencing economically. Which will be the basis of which I'm trying to measure what the hell it is I'm looking at. And unfortunately, there's not really going to be much room. I would love to be in a position where I could do surveys, but when it comes to examining social media trends, things like that, my project's going to be very heavy on data analysis, which isn't my favorite, but because I have so many questions I need to ask. And my question is is social media an effective tool for making social and political change? I already know the answer is yes. It's just how specifically and why. Those are the things. You can't just be well, yes, and then move on. I have to know how and why. So that's going to be, it's a big project I'm working on. Basically, in my sociology research class, I love my professor so much. He's fantastic and he's so easy to talk to. First of all, it's such a small class. There is literally less than 10 students there. It feels less of a class and more of just a meeting, because there's not so many kids, so we can just talk normally and don't really have to oh shit. What the hell? Out of memory. All right, are we back? Sorry, I feel like it cut out for a minute. Are we back? What was I talking about? I forgot. Oh, right. So, yeah, the class is really small. It feels more like a meeting. The teacher's the professor's running it sort of like a practice master's class. So rather than there being specific homework assignments and tests, it's you have this huge project you have to work on, and the teacher's not going to micromanage me. We're not being micromanaged at all. It's we have a due date, and it's you need research, you need to present it in a fully and then we go through the whole semester of helping do the research and put together the project. A lot of the class has been how to ask questions, because it's you really got to think about the framing of your question when you're entering some research or trying to figure something out. What time is it? My voice is getting gruff. But yeah, really cool thing. I'm really hopeful. Like I said, if I don't get in, yeah, I'll definitely be bummed. But it's making me have hope in humanity that there's a bunch of people getting together and just trying to stay educated and rise above the anti-intellectualism, which is just so bad these days. It's on my bingo card that there's going to be more riots this summer. Don't ask me, like, how. I feel like we're going to see riots at the end of this year. So if it happens, just so you know, you heard it here. You heard it here first. So that's all I have going on in my life, my friends. I just wanted to get on and update you all about where I'm at, what I'm doing. Um, I think the last few weeks have been really eye opening into like who I am. A lot of existential examination of who I am. A lot of getting in touch with my philosophical roots, getting grounded again. It's so interesting. I was talking to my therapist about like I was just describing like how it feels to be so distraught and just like depressed and all that stuff. A lot more poetically than that sentence there, but my therapist brought up transmutation when we were talking about like what's kind of like my philosophical vision of like where I'm supposed to go, what am I supposed to do. So I just kind of like described it in the best words I could. And they brought up transmutation. And it's so weird. Like, for some reason, like, I just forgot what that meant. I'm so out of touch with, like, the core roots of being Neogenian. Like, I just, like, completely forgot, like, things like transmutation. So I'm just like, what is that? And she explained it to me. And then we started talking about, that. And I was just like, duh. Transmutation, of course. Like, I'm just so out of it. And so far, it's like transmutation is like possibly like the most solid like tenet of my soul. Why would I forget that? So a lot of it is just coming back to home base and getting in touch with building and strengthening the foundation of myself, where I'm at, what I believe in, what do I want to, how do I want to like express myself, like who am who am I who am I in this world, what is my role, like it's a lot of exploring stuff like that. um and then of course the Sims, yeah, just a ton of fucking Sims, like a lot of Sims. It's getting disgusting. That's why. And then like again with the books too, like I just been reading so many sociological like analytical books. I'm like, I need something fun to read. So I started getting into like the smutty dark romance fantasy, which is so much fun. Oh, I feel so naughty. I just sit and read it and like with my hand over my mouth, giggling like a geisha like all the time. They're so good. Romance books written by women are just like top notch. I don't know if they're written by men. I am biased. Like it's just something about their wording. It's weird because like breasts don't jiggle with anticipation. They're not excitedly bouncing. I don't know. However, fucking like men like to describe, boobs. Imaginista, those are fun. Imaginista, Elise. I got some. Elise, I know you like the books I'm reading. I gotta share. I need somebody to be smutty with me, okay? Anyways. But let's see. Yeah, that's it. I got nothing else to add. Let's see. We've been going live for an hour now. I just wanted to do a soft comeback. Just a soft comeback. Hello, MC Heavyset. But let's wrap it up. I just I miss you guys so much. I keep wanting to ask you what's going on in your lives, but Exploring the Hola says those books remind me of my grandmother. The books I'm reading are not what your grandmother read. I can tell you that much. These are dark romance books. There's no first kiss. There's maybe a first blowjob at best. It's great. I miss super chats. Oh, Lucifer. Lucifer says, Jan, I'm glad to see you stream again. Thank you so much, Lucifer. That's so kind of you. I got Flower Dragon. I got Morg. We got a couple of memberships. That's really good. Grandma only read romance novels in the Bible. Like the romance novels with Fabio on the cover. Zeus is like, I've been spoiled by high quality fanfic. I love reading pornography. I think that's a good note to end on. I think that's something comfortable we should all leave with. I don't know. I think reading it is really nice. It's like, it's really lovely. Watching it, I mean, it's just like, when you read it, it's just like, but I'm really visual, so I think that's more awesome. Oh my gosh, leave me alone. These are my shadow treats, okay? Fabio. Oh, Fabio. Let's see. Fabio romance book covers. Oh, geez. Hopefully these are work safe. Yeah, like this. I'm definitely not reading these books. These books are very vanilla in comparison to what the fuck I'm reading. Like, when I mean dark romance, like we're this it's like really like BDSM shit, but like these are really hilarious. These are more like light romance books, which are entirely too passive, I think, with the dynamics between like two characters. I like things to be more upfront. Fabio. Oh my gosh. Is he still alive? Is Fabio still alive or did he die? No? He's 65? He's only 65? I thought he would be older than that. I don't know. Yeah, he looks alright. I don't know if that specific look is my cup of tea, but I do love the hair. That's gorgeous. Okay, before we get down a rabbit hole of muscly men, I don't know. Maybe it's the testosterone I'm on or something, but it's like that and sociology is all I can. Okay, I better get off before I fucking embarrass myself. Jesus. So he's alive, but now goes by Alice. There's a story. All right, people. I'm gonna get off. We're back for sure every Friday. Okay, every Friday evening. We are back next week. We're gonna get back in the fucking trenches. We're gonna get back into being looking at articles. We're gonna get back at examining the world and get back at being super fucking critical. Because criticism is good at this time. Do not lose your criticism. Look, even Jan talks about smut. Yo, I love smut. Shout out to my fellow smut sluts. Smutty fiction is, I love it. It's great. I love it. I mean, like, I love it because it's like, I find it a very comfortable way to like sort of like explore like desires and kind of like think about things in your head and figure out what you like. It's a good way to shadow explore. You got to get that shadow. It was just too much learning and too much input. I had to do some like shadow stuff. Yes, Jan on Fridays. All right, my lovelies. I'm going to get back to my Sims. Zeus says Arrow Ace authors write the best smut. I believe it. I do love the lady writers, though. I'd like to see more, though. I guess, like, I want to see more romance that sort of represents, like, people like me who are, like, trans mask, like, guy with pies. We'll see. Maybe I'll write my own. Maybe I'll write a smutty book. How would that be? I would write it under such a secret name. You wouldn't even know. You wouldn't even know it's me. Imaginista says, I've been a fan of the genre ever since I came across Anne Rice's Sleeping Beauty series when I was a teen. See, when I was like, I love these books because it's like, it's all about hooking up with a bad guy, which, like, when I was a teenager, there was the Phantom of the Opera that came out that starred Gerard Butler as the Phantom. I don't know who decided that as a design, like as a casting choice. Okay, I mean the Phantom itself in story is supposed to be like you almost can't look at him, like he's so fucking like hideous under the mask, and it's a full face mask. He's got a skeleton face under there. It's really nasty. But their design for like that newer one with Gerard Butler, it's like the sexiest fucking man in the like muscly man in like an open white shirt half the time, like through a lot of the scenes. And then just like a small mask, and then like even when you see under the mask, it's all like it's a bad sunburn. And it just pisses me so off so much. I mean, this man was dedicated to like Christine, knows everything about her, like, pretty much stalked her, okay? Let's be real. There was a lot of fucking red flags there, but sexy red flags. But then Christine chooses Raoul in the end instead of the Phantom. And as a teenager, that made me so fucking mad. It's like when Sarah doesn't choose to go with Jareth at the end of like the Labyrinth, and all of us like people who are more into like the dark fantasy experiences were like, why did you not say yes? So I mean, in the Phantom of the Opera, Christine doesn't choose the Phantom. She goes with Raoul instead. Raoul, who grew up with her as a kid, they played together as kids, didn't see each other for many years. And then when Raoul saw Christine for the first time, he was like, holy shit, you have tits. This must be love. Let's get married. It's like, that's your only premise, and she chooses that. I swear to God, these things are just so fucking shallow. Okay, I could go on about this for days. Boring. No, that's why I like to read the stories where the girl hooks up with the bad guy. It's so much. It's great. We all want that. You know that. Some of us. At least the one I recently finished like had a really good dynamic between the two couples, because like it was definitely a codependent relationship, definitely some red flags there, but they solve their problems. They either fight or fuck it out. There's none of this like passive shit like, oh, I didn't like the way you looked at the other man, so I decided to take that job position in Chicago without telling you. It's like, stop. Stop, you people. Like, there's just no psychological or character development there at all. So, anyways. Good to see everybody. That felt really good. That I felt like that was a good jump back into streaming. Talking about where we're at and stuff, and yeah. Thank you so much for coming, everybody. Thank you, Lee. Thank you, Spiral. Good to see you. Zeus, good to see you. Everybody, thank you to our beautiful moderators. Cassie was in here for a minute. We got Elise and Mark. Thank you so much for moderating. I really appreciate it. And thank you all for the super chats and the membership gifts. Those things keep the channel going. And yeah, and you know what keeps the channel going most? You. You coming here and hanging out. So I really appreciate that. And I look forward to jumping back into this. And now that I've had a big rest, you know, it's time to fight. It is time to fucking fight, okay? We gotta get our fucking mental armor on and our verbal weapons, our verbal daggers out. Because it is time to resist, okay? It's time to resist. La resistance. The time is now. Let's see, turn on some music as we leave, maybe. Maybe. Yeah, why not? Do a little music as we leave. Just a little bit. Parlez-vous, say what? Exactly. Yeah, that's a good one to leave too. All right, my friends, have a good night. Have a good weekend. We will see you next week. And yeah, we'll get back at it, my friends. Take care. And ad astra.